I joined the supply chain logistics department. So I worked there for 3 years. I designed a supply chain network and take care of the field service supply chain unit in manufacturing plants. So that helped me learn a lot in this background, and which got me interested in supply chain. So at the end of the 3 years, I decided to push this further and get foundational knowledge in supply chain, which is where I decided to go for GMAT and higher studies with a business masters.
You have 3 years of work experience, and now you want to jump in your career, especially in supply chain management sector.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And you thought Ross was a very crucial college for you. That's nice to know. So let's rewind a little bit and find out why you wanted to do an MBA. Why this thought of an MBA came to your mind? Did anybody tell you about it, or was it you had it planned it all? What was it? What was the thought process?
2 years passed in my professional career. To get further experience in managerial position, I would like to have action-based learning experience through the college experience. And supply chain and logistics was a new dimension in me for me when I joined the company. So I wanted to have a foundational knowledge also in this field, so I could excel further when the need came. So that's when a business master's idea arose for me, not actually an MBA per se, because there was a lot of constraint. I wanted to get a global exposure for sure. But there was some constraint for an MBA because first of all there was STEM, so not much MBAs was STEM, and there was a cost constraint also. So I jumped for STEM business masters, and that's when I decided I went to go for GMAT and get a higher education.
So once you decided that you wanted to do your MBA, you said the first step is you wanted to take up GMAT, right? How did your GMAT preparation go, and what did you do next?
It was quite an up and down, because earlier I thought yes, GMAT was not so tough, because considering I applied for IIT-JEE earlier, and so quant was quite an easy task for me. And I started with quant first. I took 4 months of preparation time, and during those 4 months I wasn't working, so 4 months were specially given for GMAT. And I started with quant. I completed quant in first month itself, and in second month I started with verbal, and along with that I started giving up mock exams from different websites. And when that was the time when I realized the exam is not about getting the answers right. It was about the structure of the exam, and it was quite different experience. So I decided I need to give more feel of the paper. So I enrolled for MGMAT test exams, and I give more and more papers, so which help me to get a background on this, how the paper is and how they'll this progressive questions will look like. And at the end of 4 months, I was pretty sure that I would do a decent thing on this, and because of some setbacks, I did not get my preferred score, but this was able to get me through the gateway of this at business master.
On the GMAT, what was most challenging to you? Was it quant or verbal?
No, it was native verbal.
It was definitely verbal. So
when I started preparing for verbal, it was not like we studied in school. The verbal was quite different. The American language and verbal was based on all the grammatical aspects were new for me. The modifiers, the task, and everything was new. And the reading comprehension part was quite tough, because there portrayal of English in a passage, and there most of the passages were based on like social sciences or humanitarian or literature and something like that. So that was like I was like banging my head on the wall, because I wasn't reading this stuff earlier. And that was quite tough to get into. And after that, they asked me to analyze the answers, and so verbal was literally a challenge for me. But as the time went, and I kept at it again and again, so it grew on me. So that's the thing. You keep practicing, and it gets.
What was your final score then?
It was 670.
Most of the applicants or say students have this question that how they would want to pursue an MBA and they have to prepare, but at the same time they'll be working. Did you have any challenge while preparing for the GMAT, because you're already working, and how did you tackle that? Like some would really have a lot of problems in terms of commuting and in terms of time management. What is it that you faced?
I would say it's all about time. If you are working and studying, then you would have to give a longer time period for studying. That's all. Because for me, I wasn't working during my studying period. So I left in July, and my exam was in November. So I had complete 4 months with me, but I was giving full day for preparation. and that helped me to get it covered in 4 months. If someone is working and studying, then it will lead to 6 months.
In that case, you're all sorted. You got a good math score, and now the next step was to apply to these schools. Did you make a list of the schools, or did you just? How did you go about the selection process?
My main interest in the supply chain was merging the analytics and technology part in the supply chain, transforming digital supply chain. So when I dropped out from the company, I decided to go for business analytics masters. So most of the colleges I filtered out was business analytics, and along with that, supply chain masters also I was looking for. But both the degrees I was looking for, but supply chain masters were, most of them were online. So I did not want to pursue an online degree. So Ross had an on-campus supply chain management masters. So that was the first thing I wanted to do. The Ross was selected first, and rest of the colleges I went from the rating. I got the list of best business schools for MBA 50, and I sorted out which schools give business analytics courses. So right off the bat, the Duke was at first, and then I got a list of 5 to 7 colleges, and then I applied for all this. One was this supply chain, and rest 5 were for business analytics.
Now that you had zeroed in on your college, a list of colleges, so now you know how to prepare for your MBA applications, right? So how did you go about preparing it? Were you confident that you would go through the application process by yourself, or you thought that you needed some help? And what did you do after that?
I found every step was a bit challenging than the last one, because earlier I thought that GMAT was the most challenging part. Once I completed GMAT, then that started application essays, which was that took me a toll on me, because I did not know where to start at all. Because I had this pool of information from my childhood, and all my things were in front of me, and I had all the ideas, but I did not know how to structure them in the form of essays. That's where CrackVerbal helped me a lot. I got in touch with Shri, and she helped me to get the application essay structure, because all the colleges, all the applications were having different questions, and this was not like the engineering MS, because they had SOPs and these have application essays. So all the questions are different and catered to their needs, and I have to write all the essays and all the different answers.
Was there a difference between your first essay to the final essay? Were you happy with it?
Yeah, there was a drastic difference, because initially I wrote down whatever ideas came into my mind, because first of all I didn't have I didn't got the hang how would I start the essay, or how would I structure the course, the ideas which they need to hear. So I wrote down all the information which I had, all my experiences, all my examples, and then we worked on it, me and Shri, and we structured it and gave a shape to that essay.
So you finished your application process. Then the interview part, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long did which are the schools that got back to you with an interview call, and how was your interview?
From the 5 colleges I signed up for, there were 2 colleges which did not have an interview at all. So there was like we applied for a course and you'll get an admit or rejection, and 3 colleges had an interview. So I got an interview call from the remaining 3 colleges, and the other 2 did not have an interview. One I got admit right off, and another one I got rejected after a month later.
How did your interview go? Were you prepared for your interview well in advance?
Interview was it was a good thing, because after a lot of this struggle, once an interview call came, then I was confident I'll crack it, because interview was mostly based on my experience, and that's what my strength was. Because GMAT I was a bit low, and essays CrackVerbal, as I said, helped me. And once it came to interview, they were mostly based on behavioral questions. I researched the net for what are the basic questions they ask, and I would go on GMAT club and ask some of the seniors if they had been in the same program. So most of them were behavioral questions, and I would make sure in an interview that I would give an example from my life, whatever they're asking for. So it was great. So interview was good.
What is your message to all the MBA aspirants out there who plan to do an MBA, maybe this year or next year? What is your message to them? Do you have any tips to give them?
Yeah, I would have tips for all the different segments of this preparation journey, because I did not thought so earlier, because I imagine I would have that help, because first was GMAT, which we do not need to take it lightly. Give a proper amount of time if someone is weak with verbal or not, you need help from a professional. So you can get a basic better understanding. And once this GMAT part is cleared, most important part I feel is application essays, because that's what displays your image in front of the colleges, and you would not know how the colleges would interpret you on your languages, where the professionals come into, like CrackVerbal. And I would definitely recommend anyone aspiring for an MBA or a business masters to get a professional service for application essays.
Right. Thank you so much, Dipesh. You spent some time with us and kind of giving us feedback of how you actually went through the application process. I wish you all the very best, and that you have a very successful year ahead. And do keep in touch with us. Do let us know if you could help us in some way, giving us some information about your life and your MBA journey at Ross. Once again, wish you all the best, and thank you for your time.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.